Hi, this is Chris Kruger. I'm running for state representative in Illinois 17th District. I'm the nominee of the Green Party. And I found an interesting Wikipedia page the other day, and it's called Illinois Politicians Convicted of Crimes. And the great thing about it, there's 56 people listed there. And you can click on the names and find the individual stories. And it's fascinating. There was a governor of Illinois named Otto Kerner, and he rose to become a judge on the second highest court in the land, on the Seventh Circuit. And while on the Seventh Circuit, he was convicted in a bribery scandal. When was he governor? He was elected in 1960, so he went in with the JFK election and was reelected in 1964. He defeated Charles Percy, a Republican from Kenilworth, actually. And he had a distinguished career. But there was a scandal involving Arlington Park racetrack and fixing the days when races were held. He was convicted on 17 counts of mail fraud, conspiracy, and perjury. So that was Otto Kerner. He did some good things and some bad things. Rob Blagojevich, more people be familiar with. Rob Blagojevich, actually, when he was in office, he passed some initiatives to provide health care to people, particularly women and families. Some of those actions were held to have exceeded his executive authority, but he did that. There was George Ryan, Republican from Kankakee. He actually caused a moratorium on capital punishment in Illinois, which I believe was a good thing. But he too was eventually found guilty of racketeering and fraud. His former chief of staff and campaign manager was convicted, and then Ryan was implicated. And he ended up doing actually more than 5 years, which was a lot for a politician of his rank. Betty Loren-Maltese, Republican mayor of Cicero, was convicted of taking public employees' workers' compensation payments, forming a shell insurance company, and using the money to buy a resort in Wisconsin. And so that's Betty Loren-Maltese. Tom Keane. Most people listening to this tape won't know Tom Keane, but he was the second most powerful person in the Daley administration in Chicago. This is back in the 70s. Actually, all the way through the 40s, through the 70s. His career ended in 74 with a conviction on mail fraud and conspiracy charges related to real estate. So we see that corruption is systemic. So when we take $800,000 from the speaker, and we denounce him 10 minutes later, we're really not projecting an adult type of critical thinking, because throwing the speaker under the bus and getting another speaker is not going to reform the system in Illinois. We need ethics legislation similar to the analogous to the legislation proposed by Elizabeth Warren in the federal legislature. So that's what needs to happen. And it's not only in this district, but I'm running in this district, so you have a unique opportunity to vote against the system. In this district, in August, it's reported, representative had 247,000 in contributions from the speaker. 2 years earlier, in the 2018 cycle, the representative had $552,000 from the speaker. So the speaker can resign, but the donors aren't going to resign. You have to make your voice heard by voting for the Green Party, by voting against systemic corruption, and you'll really be doing politicians, both conservative, moderate, and liberal, a big favor, because you'll be freeing them from having to make decisions based on their donors.